This is an R Media podcast. This episode is supported by Vixen, Australian-made skincare powered by plant cell technology and designed to bring real simplicity back to skincare. Love has never been one size fits all, and these are the stories we love to tell at the Australian Women's Weekly. For over 90 years, we've been bringing you stories of hope, of heart and connection that reflect the world we live in. And now it's time for a new chapter with the Australian Women's Weekly Love Stories podcast. Hey mate, remember how much we loved Neighbours when we were growing up? I have got the best story for you about how Angry Anderson and Suddenly played a really great starring role in David and Lisa Campbell's love story. Anyway, call me when you get this. I'll tell you all about it. Do you have a favourite meet cute story? I love hearing unexpected stories of how people met and then learning about the unlikely journey that saw them finally get to that great romance. The one that's always stuck with me is that of David and Lisa Campbell. It's a meet cute story that starts with two strangers from opposite sides of the world meeting by chance, and then, with a little help from their fairy godmother Magda Szubanski, throwing caution to the wind to see if this spark could turn into something magical. 20 years and 3 kids later, you'll see they're still madly and truly in love. But how did they know to go with their hearts instead of their heads to chase this romance? And while this might sound like the stuff of fairy tales, how have they navigated all the hard stuff that inevitably comes along the way? That's what I'm excited to share with you as they join us here today.
It feels like, you know, those rapids rides where you sort of just bump down? Mm-hmm. That's exactly how our life goes. Wow. So we're just there and occasionally we'll get a bit wet, but that'll be fun. And so then we chuck, and then we'll just bounce along the way down again. It doesn't, there's no... thought.
No, we're just having more people in the rapids with us.
Yeah.
We've added 3 more people.
Add some twins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm Tiffany Dunk from the Australian Women's Weekly, and this is Love Stories. David and Lisa, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be asked.
Yay.
Congratulations. I love what you've done with the place.
Oh, thanks.
It's great.
It takes a village.
Don't we know it?
I'd love to kick off by asking you, we ask our guests this question every time we get someone in on the couch. What is your love language individually?
What's our love language? That's a really good question. Mine is neediness. So instantly I went to Lisa, what is our love language, honey?
Well, you are definitely acts of service.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're feeling disconnected from myself or the kids, you want to throw yourself into something like, I will do laundry. The baking, the new baking thing.
I'm into baking right now. Yes, it's my new thing.
I love this for you.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's very much your...
Yeah, no, I do like to... It's a version of pottering, old man pottering, but hopefully a younger version of that. What do you think your love language is then?
Compliments? I don't know.
No, I think your love language is what you give out, because you definitely are there for people. You know, for me, it's like you are so in charge of not only me or the kids and everything around their worlds, but all around the world with the casting and everyone who relies on you. You are present. And I think if that's a love, I don't know if that is a love language, but your presence is what your love language is. Your instinct is to be there for somebody. If somebody needs you, you're there.
Okay.
Oh,
that's very sweet.
That's a good one, I think.
Okay.
Oh. Look, the two of you have one of my favourite meet cute stories of all time, honestly. Can you tell me a little bit about how you first met?
I was in Melbourne doing a show called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is a musical.
It's a tongue twister.
It's a great musical. So we all played kids in it except for Marina Pryor. It was myself, Magda Szubanski, Marina, and it was an incredible cast. And we were very close, a very small cast. And in the show, you drag people up on stage from the audience and they have to be in a spelling competition. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing that, and Lisa was on tour here. So what were you doing? We'll go bit by bit.
Okay, I was doing the opposite. So a very serious play with the National Theatre from the UK.
Wow.
And so we were touring over here. It's called An Inspector Calls. And so it's an old play, but it was this sort of iconic production that had been directed by Stephen Daldry, who did The Crown and The Hours and what have you. And we had done 6 weeks in Sydney, and we were coming to Melbourne. And because it was 2006, we were all obsessed with Kath and Kim, of course.
As you should be.
Indeed. And as we were driving from the airport in Melbourne to our accommodation, we passed this billboard, and it had this picture of Magda Szubanski on it. And so we're like, what is this show with this extraordinarily long name? We need to go and see it.
Yeah. And so your leading lady, a woman called Sandy Duncan, a British Sandy Duncan, came along and saw it, and sort of maybe she emailed or she messaged Magda somehow, and so I remember.
I think they just turned up to stage door. This was 2006.
No, because Mags knew that they were in town. Like,
right, okay.
Where like she was going to meet with the people from Inspector Calls,
Right.
like from the RSC,
Right.
and so she was like, "Oh, this is going to be very
Not from the RSC.
Not from the RSC production,
No,
wasn't it? What is it?
National.
National. Sorry.
But please, I'll take that on my credit.
Let's say the RSC. But I remember Mag saying, "Oh, I'm meeting these people from Inspector Calls. They're from England. This is going to be great. You should pop past." And so I sort of was out, and I sort of popped past on my way home and sort of said hi, and just sat down for like maybe a quick minute for a drink, and then left. And then I guess Magda and Sandy were like
conspiring
to put us together.
I can
And
see
so
this quite
Mags
vividly.
was sort of behind the scenes, like, oh, well, we should, we used to do this thing in my room. I used to share a room with Bert Labonte, and we share a dressing room together. And every week, it's a tradition in musical theatre or any theatre to have Thirsty Thursdays, where somebody houses, like some of the cast come in from around the city. And so we were having Thirsty Thursdays in our room. And Lisa walked in on that next Thirsty Thursdays in our room. And I remember us talking. You were talking at my station where I was like used to get my makeup on, and I remember us talking, and you were wearing a white singlet and a denim blue dress, and I remember us laughing and how funny she was, and she was making me laugh. And this is silly, but she was getting all my references, which was really exciting to me because I could be quite obscure with my references, and I don't know what her impression of me was, but I was really taken back and very smitten.
Yeah.
Clearly, because I remember what she was.
Yeah. Do you remember that kind of detail?
Absolutely. And yes,
I remember the first thing I said to you.
Oh.
Bex or Stella, I think, wasn't it?
Bex or Heineken?
Was it a Heineken or Stella? It was
Well,
definitely
I chose
Bex.
Bex,
You chose
so
the
they-
Bex.
Those are the days. That ages it. And so, yeah, and then after that, a couple of days later, I came to see the play and came to see you, being a spelling 12-year-old.
Yep.
And
You sat in the front row. Remember where you sat? Yep.
and that was that. And so then after that, we were together all the time. And so I had
We kept bumping into each other in Melbourne. Do you remember that?
Of course. Yeah.
Why? Because you set it up?
No, it was like you were following me. But we were together consistently over the next couple of weeks while I was still in town. Then I went up to Brisbane with the tour, and you came too.
I followed because we'd closed by that stage. I'm like, well, I'll come up to Brisbane too.
Yeah. And then that was that. And I had to go back to the UK. And so I got to Singapore on the way home, and you called.
Well, no, wait. I first went back because I had to go to Adelaide, I think. Or so I had to go somewhere because my dad was doing a gig, and I pushed my flights and delayed it because we were hanging out too much, and I was trying to delay leaving Lisa. And
He's
finally,
in the Clipsal or something.
he was doing the Clipsal in Adelaide, and I remember getting backstage, and they were just like, "Who are you with? Why are you delaying the flight to get here?" Because I was supposed to be there, being professional or whatever.
Yeah.
But usually they were really ribbing me, but in a way that my family doesn't usually do it. They're like, "Who are you with? Who's this Lisa? Why are you with her? What's going on?"
So they had picked up.
They had picked something up, yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, no, she was really great, and she's gone back to England." And I was a bit mopey. I was a bit mopey.
And so I was over in Asia, and I was by this point, emailing Magda, because Magda the whole time was pushing us together. So it would be, we'd go out for dinner, and she'd make sure that we were sat next to each other. She just had this
At group dinners.
This is what she wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Wow. She's your personal Cupid.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so I emailed her and just said, Well, that was pleasant, but it's unrealistic because I could not live further away from this man. So that was nice while it lasted, but this isn't going to be. And she emailed me back and said, I will not take this. I'll accept the crumbs off love's table bullshit from you. This is a moment of rarity.
Wow.
You have to fight for this. And yeah. And
she made me a goofy video, sent it to me. I was on the phone to a friend that I knew at the time.
This is me.
Yeah, not Magda. Lisa made this goofy video with her friend around parts of like where she was traveling in Asia, sent it to me, and I was on the phone to a friend and I received it. And I'm like, I'll call you back. And I hung up the phone and called Lisa and said, and you were at Raffles, weren't you?
I was at Raffles in Singapore. No, I wasn't staying there. I'd gone for a sling.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Singapore sling. And I said, I mean, I've got an album coming out. I was just recorded the swing sessions that time. I said, it's coming up. So I have to do some, work around that here. But after that's done, I can come to England. And you were like, no, I'll come back to Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you went and saw your dad.
Yeah. And my dad picked me up from the airport and he was asking me some questions and he said, so when are you going to go back? And that was literally one of the first things he said.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So at this stage, it had been, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks. So how long then till you packed up your whole life? And
well, I had to put my stuff in storage and sell my car. And so, and wait for my visa. So about 6 weeks after that, I came back.
I feel like, and I always think about this when I think about the two of you, that whole idea of head versus heart or heart versus head, because I think if you sat down and thought about that for too long and the implications of it.
Absolutely.
I would never encourage our friends to do this or our children.
Yes.
It seems wild when we talk about it now.
Oh, absolutely. It's mental.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that the whole time, with my dad, who is incredibly pragmatic, it was that thought of just, if it doesn't work out, you just come back. It's fine. You're only young once. And I think that all of everybody sort of, in a very charming way, was humoring us. So, see how you go.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, you say that, but I think...
am I wrong?
No, not that you're wrong, but from my perspective, we'd both had prior relationships. That's not a secret. But I'd sort of really become really sort of isolated and a bit jaded. And I remember somebody saying, I like David a lot more now that Lisa's here.
Oh, that is the best compliment ever.
And it's true. I'd gone through a real stage of not being being a bit of a, not really liking myself, not really liking, my energy was really bad. And yet Lisa came along and changed everything. My family liked me better. I remember it felt like the light had come into my life, which was missing. And it was something that was really profound. It's easier for me to look back on it now and be like, that's what happened. But at the time I was still grappling with the fact that, we were very much in love and, the excitement and the dopamine rush of being together for the first time and introducing each other to things and sending each other music on CD.
Oh, well, could have been cassette tape,
Yeah, we did our own cassette tapes, yeah.
I love that.
Good times. Yeah, we still got more.
And when I say, I wouldn't recommend it to people doing it, from the outside it seems chaotic. But I would recommend following your heart if it tells you something as profound as it was telling me.
Yes. And I mean, not for a single second do I regret it. I mean, it really is.
Thank God for that. I'm so glad you confessed that here.
No, but it's, I mean,
this will be a very different podcast if that's the case.
But it's this thing of even now, and that's nearly 20 years ago, that I still feel like this is a whirlwind romance.
Oh.
And it's crazy that I feel like, oh, well, us kids, we've only known each other for 3 weeks and that's 20 years on.
I know.
So how do you work with your partner and actually be successful at it? David and Lisa are going to tell us how they do it their way. See you in a bit. You know how your skin kind of tells its own story? Mine has definitely changed over time. Sun, stress, life, all of it. And that's why I've been keeping a close eye on Vixen. It's Australian-made skincare powered by plant stem cell technology, and it keeps things simple. One all-in-one cream that fits into your day, no fuss, just that lovely good skin feeling again. Okay, so taking outside all of this like giddy romance and the heart versus head, coming over here and leaving everything behind, family, friends, etc. There must have been some tough times with that as well. What did you do to start this life?
It put a lot of pressure on us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, I mean, also the purpose of me being here was you. So I've now got no career because also this is before, it's before social media. MySpace was around, but it's before Facebook.
We were friends with Tom.
We were. Yeah. He was on my top 8. It was a barren time, friends-wise. But you've got that thing of like my CV meant nothing, and so therefore, I've literally put all my eggs in one basket, and also the friends that I did have here were in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And you lived in Sydney.
Yeah.
So everything was sort of on you. And that's a lot of pressure from that perspective. So, I mean, we made the most of it. We went to therapy to try and make sure that we could find a way that we could communicate. And also that I could find a way to establish how I was going to navigate this and find an identity on my own, which it was hard. And I remember I had to find things like, okay, I'm an actor at the time. Where do out of work actors work here? So they worked at a call center in Bondi Junction. So that's where I would start to work. And, I made friends. I'm friends that I still have to this day.
Yeah.
And those sort of things, like just sort of trying to find a foundation of what our lives could look like here.
Yeah. The therapy thing was really important.
How so?
Well, I'd done a lot of therapy in the past. And so I really felt the burden of responsibility at times. A lot of times when Lisa was first here, it was like, this is my fault. She's here and she's thrown her career away. She can't get acting work here. What have I done? Is this the right? You start to counteract, like, am I doing the right thing? And yet it was undeniable that we didn't want to be apart. So when we were starting to work out how we're going to do this, going to therapy was really important about how do you fight constructively and listen to each other. And by doing that, we stopped fighting. Not that we were fighting a lot, but the tension was a lot. And we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was blissful and fun. And we would go out on tour and be with my band. And everyone loved her. And then and there'd just be certain moments be like, we're doing the wrong thing. Or like you just doubt yourself as you do in a couple of the early stages.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to stuff it up.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose her. As established before, needy. And I truly, truly thought this is the chance somehow in my life. There was something something was drawn me to Lisa that only I could stuff up. And I don't want to be the thing that stuffs it up. So we did therapy, and after a while, it was like, after like a couple of sessions of therapy, we're like, that's how we talk, listen, receive, make space for, all those things that I certainly didn't know how to do well enough. To the point that our therapist was like, okay, I think you guys are done.
Wow.
And Lisa's like, thanks a lot. And I'm like, I'm not done. You're a good therapist. I'm staying for another year or 2, which I did. And that really helped me too, to sort of be better in a relationship that was worthy like Lisa, and to make sure that I'm not going to mess this up. I'm going to work out how I can improve all the time so I can be with her.
I love this.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I got over that and got over the fact of, feeling isolated by persuading my friends to move to Australia.
She did. Her best friend moved.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that sort of thing of, because it's a wonderful place to be, that was an aspect that was great. And my dad was obsessed with coming over, and so he was coming over frequently, and we're very fortunate that we had opportunities to visit family and what have you. So it worked out well.
And you've got a massive family, so I'm guessing you mentioned before that your family were very excited for this.
Oh, there was this day there was this day. Oh gosh, I'm starting to feel the fear.
Go on.
So, have you met Mahalia, David's sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm taking Tom off my top friends on MySpace,
Wow, this is
and
big.
I'm replacing it with Mahalia Barnes.
This is big.
She is incredible. She's one of my favorite people I've ever met. And she's also a formidable character.
Mm-hmm.
And so she and her friends invited the two of us to Yum Cha. And it felt like a scene in a mafia film. Because all of these incredible soul singers are sat around this enormous Lazy Susan just waiting for us to come in. And I was so nervous. And they're just sort of like, wait, how's she going to go? And it was a baptism of fire. And fortunately, it worked out well. And we remained incredibly friendly. But it was
the toughest audition to date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was great.
Well, and also she's like, she's just the best. I adore Mahalia, and she and I she was the first sister I had. I was an only child, and then the Barneses came into my life with Mahalia, so that was my connection as a sister for the first time. So we have that sort of bond, but also our families holiday together. We lived next door to each other. We literally moved next to her for a couple of years while Ruby and Leo were, growing up together. And they're like got this cousin, brother and sister thing going on too. So there's this really deep bond between our families. That's just,
it's wonderful.
It's the best.
I love that. So talk to me about becoming parents and how that happened, well, maybe not how it happened, but
sort of a podcast is this anyway?
I know, sorry.
Oh no, but this is so we went to visit Mahalia in hospital.
Yeah, she just had Ruby.
And so she'd had Ruby, and we were walking down the corridor, and Jane Barnes' mother turned to me as we passed her in the corridor, and she looked at me and she said, "You're next."
That was all she said.
That was it.
Incredible.
You're next. Within probably about 28 days, I was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was that.
Wow.
So there's only 9 months between Ruby and Leo.
I love that. How did adding kids to the dynamic change you as a couple, or did it change you as a couple?
Oh, it changed us profoundly.
Yeah.
It changed me. Obviously I went sober with Leo, which I've spoken about before, but we had this little buddy all of a sudden. And it was like really exciting to okay, now we're going to take this guy on adventures with us all the time. He would come on the road with us, or we take him overseas. And, it was awesome those first few years.
Yeah. Oh, that's the way you said that. And then it took a turn for the worst when we had the twins.
No. But Mahalia's involved with that too.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
So Leo was an enormous child. And then when I was pregnant again, I got very big very quickly. And Mahalia's like, "You're having twins."
She said, "Isn't there twins in your family, Lisa?" And you could see Lisa go, "We should just book an appointment and just see what's going on."
Yeah. And then lo and behold, that was that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't do anything by halves. We were sort of like all in. In the same way, it's like, known you for 3 weeks, come on, let's go, let's emigrate.
Do you want to have a second child? Great, let's make it twins.
And so I think that's really been something it's very important for us to be parents. So they're our priority. Our approach to it has always been like, this is our team. We've created our team and now we have a group chat that's party of 5.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, look at that. I love it.
No.
Such a reference.
I don't even know what the reference is, but we're like, that's a good reference, kid. One day you'll get this.
Obviously, you mentioned earlier, Lisa, you were out of work for a little while, and David, you are constantly in work, it feels like. How did you navigate that? Like in terms of, especially once kids came along, how did you make sure that, you're obviously very career oriented and ambitious. How did you make sure that you could blend the two and still have fulfilling careers individually and be good parent and all of the things?
Well, we started off I remember where we were in Adelaide, and you were like, okay, I'll help produce your tours. Because her dad was an accountant, and so she thought, I can get across this, and that way, you could be on the road. And
Such a busybody. I knew nothing about this. Yeah.
I trusted it because I thought, sounds like a great idea. Let's go.
Yeah, we say this thing with our daughter, which is that, I'm a businesswoman. What's my business? Everybody else's. That's it. And it's so true. I was like, how's this going for you? Okay, I can do a bit better there. I think we can make this a little more profitable. No experience, but I'll give it a go. And so I was only, probably I'd been here for about 6 months before I was like, okay, let me have a look at this. And also there was a real sense of I wasn't getting any of the acting work I wanted to, but at that moment really reassessed what was making me happy. And the performance aspect of being an actor wasn't the thing that was drawing me or the thing that I missed. That to be in a situation where I could be producing something and deciding, hey, this is how our life is going to look. That was so much more stabilizing and made me so much happier.
Yeah.
And fortunately, you were doing things that needed producing.
Yeah, I was doing shows and we were producing, concerts for DVD with Sony at the time. And so it was we were constantly working together, which we loved doing. That was one of the great things about our relationship, which, from the early times, is that once we worked together as well, it was like, this is even more fun. We're having even more adventures, and we would work out what's on the next tour, and we would stay up late and we would have these wild ideas, and we would come out and we'd play, what about this song? It was really exciting. And then I got the call to say, would I go be the artistic director of the Adelaide Cabaret Festival, which I was like, well, this is a good idea. Let's do this. And so, but I'm like, I can't produce. Lisa's the producer. So, we did it together. And in the middle of that, we were pregnant with Leo on the second year.
Wow.
So it was just natural just to keep working through it. It was a really fun time. So we'd never really thought about how are we do it much more now because we have to be in so many different places with the kids. We're far more okay, where are you today? What are you doing today? How can we get our calendars all locked in? I think it's a bit tougher now.
None of it is a plan.
Yeah.
So nothing that we've got, at no point have we had a 5-year plan, a vision board. There hasn't even been a Post-it note. It's literally just been like, sure.
Well, it was life's throwing this at us. Should we try that?
And it feels like, those rapids rides where you sort of just bump down? That's exactly how our life goes. Wow. So we're just there, and occasionally we'll get a bit wet, but that'll be fun. And so then we chuck, and then we'll just bounce along the way down again. It doesn't, there's no thought.
No, we're just having more people in the rapids with us.
Yes.
That's it. We've added 3 more people.
Add some twins.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would love to think that there was some master plan, but there really hasn't been.
No.
Neighbours fans, get ready. You're about to hear the wedding story of a lifetime. See you in a bit.
A warm hello to our new listeners. I'm Sophie, editor of the Australian Women's Weekly, and we're so happy you're joining us on this new chapter. For over 90 years, the Australian Women's Weekly has been a trusted home of real love stories, the kind that are messy and funny and quietly miraculous, just like real life, and just what we all need right now. Now, with the Australian Women's Weekly Love Stories, we're wrapping those stories around you in lots of new ways. Online, in your ears, wherever you are, making it easy as possible for you to enjoy. So, if you've grown up with the Weekly or you're just finding us now, welcome. And we'd love you to come on this new adventure with us, exploring every kind of love and the real things that matter to all of us. And because you're listening, and we value that, we've got something special just for you. A discounted subscription to the Australian Women's Weekly so you can dive even deeper into the stories you're liking. Just head to womensweekly.com.au to find out more. And thank you so much for being part of our Love Stories family. Now back to the chat.
I love that you're on Smooth as well. Love stories play a big role here. And you mentioned making mixtapes for each other back in the day. Let's talk love songs. I
mean, I guess our wedding song is the most love song we've got. That's the biggest. That's the most iconic one.
There are 2 moments. There are 2 moments in our wedding. So the first was the fact that Mahalia, we'd asked her to do the music in our church. And so we had asked them to do It Must Be Love. So the Labi Sifri or the madness.
The
version
madness.
Of it.
You weren't thinking madness, right?
It was it was who it was written by.
Yeah, of course.
And so they start. Your dad and Ellie Mae and
Haley was supposed to
Haley.
just like just a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started singing, and then a la Love Actually, we didn't know, but they had various members of the family throughout the
And band
congregation.
members and
And they all got up and sang and played.
there was brass and it was the whole thing. So we're, of course, by this stage, I'd been crying the minute Lisa got to the church. By this stage, there was just nothing left. I was just a complete messy puddle. So there was that. And then when we get to the reception, because we're trying to think when we were playing the wedding, what's the wedding song going to be? We had a lot of like Lisa's dad had come out, a lot of her friends had come out, and we're like, what's the thing that bridges Australia and England the most?
And this is for people who grew up in the 80s.
Mhm.
Gen Xers.
Obviously, it's Neighbours.
It's Scott and Charlene.
Of course.
And so we had to get Suddenly by Angry Anderson as our wedding song. And I was like, I wonder if Angry would sing it. And so we asked him, and the response was, hang on, I don't even know where that song is. He'd written it for his daughter, that song. And so he didn't know where it was. He had to go find the DAT. That's how old this was. So DAT was like a little studio tape that was high quality prior to like, all this sort of streaming and stuff. She had to go find the DAT, and he found it. And then he was like, okay, I can do it. So we had all these reveals that I went. So people come into a cocktail section. Then we move into like the food section, which I don't remember eating anything. And then
the wedding, we were very lucky that our MC was Bob Down,
Yeah.
Mark Trevorrow,
it was Mark, yeah.
who's a good friend of ours, and so he was there.
He was
and
our neighbour.
He was like, "Yeah, let's do. Here's the first dance."
This is the first dance. And so it was revealed this big dance floor, and this curtain went up, and the song started, and it was Angry at the far end of the pavilion singing Suddenly, and we're all there, and you could feel like this ripple of like, what's going on? And my dad's like, who's that short bald guy they've got singing this song? Because he couldn't see who it was. He's like, that's Angry fucking Anderson. That Angry hadn't told anybody. And he was, bless Angry Anderson's heart. We're like, do you want to come join us at the wedding party? He said, no, I'll wait backstage because I want to be the
It's a
surprise.
good surprise.
So he sat there on like a little box, and we sent him food. He said, no. I think he was nervous too because he hadn't sung it in 20 years. And he came out and sang something. And so by the time people realized what was going by the first chorus, you saw like people running to the dance floor.
Wow.
And what was supposed to be like, everyone please join the Mr. and Mrs. Campbell for their first dance. It just became like all these people like yelling at Angry and going, suddenly you're see, and then we're all just doing it. I'm getting chills now. We'd all just stop the pretense of like dancing romantically. We're all just having this amazing once in a lifetime concert moment
my God.
with the lead singer of Rose Tattoo, Angry Anderson.
I adore that story.
It was the best.
It was the best night.
And was your personal Cupid there also?
Oh yeah, she was in
Yeah, she's bridesmaid.
Oh, bridesmaid. Okay. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, Magda's bridesmaid. She's godmother to Betty, our daughter.
Aw.
Yeah. Oh, she's very present in our lives.
She's the through line of our lives.
I want to ask you, I know you've said you've worked together for a long time, but you're working together on a new project now that I know, Lisa, is a big passion project for you, but has become a newfound love for you, David, into the Austenverse. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it came from the fact that we're big Slow Horses fans. And my EP at Today Extra is so passionate about Jane Austen. So she kept putting all this Jane Austen stuff into the show this year because it's the 250th anniversary of Jane Austen's birth. And so then the Netflix released pictures of Jack Lowden as Mr. Darcy. And there was this whole debate in the office about, it's a ginger Mr. Darcy. Can you even have a ginger Mr. Darcy? And so I was like, that's interesting. So I came home, as I always do, and like if we had like 5 minutes at lunch, or like Lisa would be, doing some casting stuff, and she came in, I'm like, what do you think of a ginger Mr. Darcy? And then you didn't draw a breath for like 20 minutes.
You're welcome.
And it was the first time in our relationship, with all the pop culture stuff we pushed back and forth, that I was like, oh, I've not even read a book. I watched
You have read a book. You haven't read a Jane Austen.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. So Lisa taught me to read. No, so I hadn't read any of these books. I didn't have any knowledge of what she was talking about. And so my thought was like, well, why don't we do a podcast and see what happens? And it's been wild because I thought we'd do 6 eps.
Yeah, there are 6 novels. So we thought, okay, well, this is how it's going to be. So we'll do 1 episode with that. And then
I'll read the books or I'll do the audiobooks and I get to do something like that. I'm not going to die not reading Jane Austen. This is stupid. I'm 52.
So you're close to death? What do you mean?
I won't put it off any longer.
Okay, fair enough.
And as we're starting it, we were like, oh, God, I think it's going to be more. Maybe we'll stretch this to 12 or 15. And now there's just like no end in sight.
No.
It's been amazing.
And I mean, it's just a joy. I love doing it. I love it.
And we haven't worked together for so long. And we were desperate to do something together. When we're always trying to find something, we just couldn't find it. Yeah. And so when this happened, we just are all in.
Oh, so you must be living the time of your life right now.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh. Yeah.
It doesn't, I know someone said about podcasting, maybe you'll find this. It's like, oh, everyone thinks they should have a podcast and then like 4 or 5 eps in, they're like, oh, this is just work and it's hard work. I don't feel that yet.
Yeah.
You know, we were speaking to the cast of the 1995 Pride and Prejudice, 2 of the cast members the other day.
Wow.
And it's like, this is wild. And I'm editing it on, like, Lisa taught me how to use an editing program so she could do this social media stuff. And I'm like, this is wild. This is such fun. I'm like, oh my God, remember we said this is funny. Lisa, we need to put this on social media. And so we're just having this dialogue all the time. And we're not talking about kids' schedules. We're not talking about who's walking the dog. We're not talking about what's for dinner. We're talking about something just that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great fun.
Because I think people always wonder, like, how do you get that work-life blend where you keep the romance or you keep, and you keep things separate from work? But it sounds like the romance almost comes in through the work in a weird way because you're finding those things that sparked your...
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And also I think that it comes from the privilege that the things that we are able to work in, the fields in which we're able to work in are things that are passions for us. So I think that it may be work, but we're fortunate that it's stuff we're already passionate about.
Our work is our hobby.
So we're very, very lucky.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is fortunate. For some, I guess for others, are there any other bits of advice that you'd offer for people who maybe are working together for the first time whilst trying to sort of juggle the marriage and the raising the kids? Are there any kind of basic rules or steps or? Oh,
rules. Do we have rules?
No.
There's no rules.
Yeah, I think...
I don't even know if we have boundaries. But we've established no boundaries and rules. Maybe not listen to us, but I love working with it. It's if you can work and enjoy working with your partner, it's bliss. Particularly because, like I said, you don't have to talk about the kids.
Yeah.
Most people do date night and be like, phones down, let's connect with each other. We don't have to do that. We're already doing that with everything else we're doing with the podcast.
Phones down, let's talk about Charlotte Lucas and Mr. Collins.
Phones down, who's your favourite Lizzie?
Well, another project you worked on together with The Weekly was a recent shoot that we did for our Christmas issue. And I'm going to get Lily to come in because we've got a little something we prepared from that shoot that I'd love to show for you guys.
Oh, okay, great.
What do you love most about your mum and dad?
What I like about mum and dad is that they're always fun, they're happy all the time, and like they're always funny, and that's what I like about them.
What do you love the most about mum and dad?
The thing I love most about my mum and dad is, well, they're just so funny and they just land every joke and like they know how to cheer up my day.
What I love most about my mum and dad is that like they're really supportive, especially for when I do, like when I'm like practicing music or I'm going on one of my like random hobbies or doing the musical. They're just always really supportive and like really like we're here for you for whatever adventure you choose to do. So yeah, that's what I really love about my mum and dad.
Did Betty say we landed the jokes?
She did.
What a comedian. What a pro.
Thank you for that. That's so sweet.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, no. What do you love most about your kids? What brings you joy about your children?
That they are well trained. No, for the fact they seem to have a combination of Lisa's zest for life and my sort of drive in different levels, but it's their like they attack life. They are into it.
The overarching thing is, and you saw it there with Leo, our eldest son, they really know themselves, which is a very fun thing to witness. So like, with that, he's like, when I'm going off with one of my random hobbies. Yeah.
He's Captain
knows.
Project.
Oh, we say he's not a hobby horse, he's a hobby lion.
Yeah.
He really goes in for them. And so it's like, I'm all in. I need every single part of this. I need every piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I've moved on.
Yeah.
And so
I need every Rubik's Cube, the triangle, the small one, the 16 bits, the regular 3x3, and now I'm recording music.
Yeah, every time. And Betty also completely knows herself. Leo babysat for them last night.
Oh, this is funny.
And she wrote a letter and she said, Leo is pretty good. I think I may be the problem. She is.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, she knows. And Billy's the same. You know, he's very existential. He has much more sort of an understanding of like, but what does the world look like for me?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's also a very jolly little chap too.
Yeah. And it's wild seeing different sides of people in our kids as well. Like, especially when Billy was younger, there was a lot of my dad in him. And I can see a lot of the drive and sort of temperament that sort of comes through Bill, and he has that. But then we see Betty, and we watched her in a concert the other day for her, her talent, a talent concert she was in at the end of the year. And she's really funny. And she's so much like Lisa on stage now. It's like and we saw her do some acting. And I'm like, I think she's not just funny. I think she's a serious actress. I don't know if she's Kate Blanchett yet, but she's got some serious chops, and that she's got that as well. And then Leo has this sort of beautiful, empathetic, and then he'll just sit down and play something. He's like, "Oh, Dad, I've just worked out, some Steely Dan song. How is it sounding?" I'm like, yeah, it sounds exactly like it sounds on the record, brother. And then he'll go teach himself a guitar lick because he wants to teach. Like, he's so creative and just really into enveloping everything. He's so pop cultural. His cachet is pop culture. And I think that's really cool at his age.
I'm going to wrap up with one final question. Obviously, coming up to 20 years of knowing each other, in 20 years' time, where do you hope David and Lisa are, and what will they be doing?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, hopefully we're just doing the same. I'd like to just keep doing what we're doing. I never want to change. I feel like when we started at that moment in Thirsty Thursdays in my dressing room, and I started a conversation with Lisa that I don't think we'll ever find the end of.
I love that.
Oh, I love you. You're going to cry.
I know. Sorry.
No, it's lovely.
It's our anniversary this week.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
What are the plans?
I think we're going to the rest is history. We're going to go watch a live podcast. God help us, what have we become? We're going to watch two old British blokes talk about Nazi Germany and maybe Nelson. I don't know what they're going to do.
I love how romantic.
I know. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing.
Oh, well, this feels like a beautiful place to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us.
No worries, thanks for having
really
us.
appreciate it.
Sorry, I cried.
Of course you do.
I'll call my therapist now. I'll get it back.
What an amazing couple. If they're not couple goals, I don't know who are. I really love that analogy of their life being a raft going down the rapids and they just throw a few more people into it every now and again. I completely relate to that. My family is very much the same. I so enjoyed that chat. I really hope that you did too. We're a brand new pod, so please share us with your family and the ones that you love. Pop into our show notes as well. Let us know what you think. And until then, I really hope to see you again soon. This episode is supported by Vixen, Australian-made skincare powered by plant cell technology and designed to bring real simplicity back to skincare.
This is an R Media podcast.